giving parents a private right of action to be able to enforce the prohibition on CRT, this corporate CRT. It's basically corporate sanctioned racism, and they're trying to shove it down these employees' throats. We are going to be introducing to the public, and we have legislators who are going to help us with this, a new piece of legislation for the upcoming legislative session called Stop Wrongs Against Our Kids and Employees Act, the Stop Woke Act.
The greatest of all time of governors, Ron DeSantis, the GOAT, announcing a major crackdown on critical race theory. His new Stop Woke Act banning the progressive curriculum from Florida schools and workplaces. Just another reason why a lot of Americans are moving to the Sunshine State. Here to react to this and more, CEO of American Majority, Ned Ryun. Ned, what's up, man?
Hey, Buck, how you doing?
I'm good. So I love to see this. It's amazing to me, though, because you still have, it seems, the Democrats thinking that the way that they can fight back against this is just to tell parents and tell people in general there is no CRT.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre when the response is to double down and deny what's actually factual. I mean, they tried to do that here in Virginia when, in fact, the Virginia Board of Education actually had it front and center on their website about critical race theory, in which they were trying to gaslight the people of Virginia when, in fact, it was clearly stated. I think this is a great move by DeSantis, Buck, but I want to see it go a step further. I mean, the reason that they were able to get away with some of this stuff with the critical race theory, other games they've been playing inside the education system, is it's because it's a monopoly. And the way that you break monopoly is to bring about competition. And I would love to see DeSantis take this even a next step further, in which he says, you know what? We're going to allow the dollars to follow the parents. And if they want to have charter schools or private schools or homeschool, whatever they want, they can then put their children into that school. That will break the monopoly of the public school system, which has allowed them to turn them into indoctrination centers in which they're teaching children what to think instead of how to think. That's the next step to take, Buck.
Is this going to play? I mean, obviously, we're talking about it in the context of Florida, and Governor DeSantis is taking action there. But we saw in your home state of Virginia what felt like a huge repudiation of just CRT, but also the left's stranglehold on education and refusal to be even a little bit responsive to parents. We even know that parents treated like terrorists for wanting to have a greater say in what their children are being taught in schools supported by their tax dollars. Do you think that's going to come back as a major issue next year for the midterms, Ned?
Absolutely, and Republicans would be fools not to embrace it. I mean, this is the real story of what took place in Virginia. It was not that Glenn Youngkin was some phenomenal conservative rock star left to himself. He was a vanilla establishment type candidate who embraced the parents' movement that had already begun. And that was the real secret to his success, Buck, is he embraced it wholeheartedly, became a vocal supporter and said, I will defend parents' rights to actually be engaged in how their children are educated. And I would remind people, too, that the other issue that people seem to forget on this, Buck, is it's not only CRT, it's that these woke school board members have said, well, advanced math and other advanced courses are racist, therefore we're not going to teach them. And where you get 70% of Democrats and independents, especially here in Loudoun County, was on that issue. They were completely frustrated, had enough that their children were being denied opportunities by not being taught these advanced courses. It's a 70% issue, and only a fool would turn their back on us. So I hope the Republicans in 2022 double down on this, embrace it, and say, if nothing else, we are going to be advocates for parents' rights. And we're going to actually go even, again, a step further, and we're going to work to break the monopoly of the public school system, and we're going to provide more competition. And when more competition comes, I think you see a lot of this stupidity start to fade away.